Hello and welcome to another edition of Written Sins Hour. We're still possibly working on the name of this. This is that experimental pilot program where we just talk about anything randomly. Jax just went down for a nap, and I hadn't really touched base with anyone lately outside of the normal programming, so I figured I'd do one of these videos and see what's up. I know it's Sunday. I know it's the Sunday before July 4th. I know a lot of people might be busy. Ooh, we're opening something. Oh, we're opening the Hangouts. Not good. We don't want to do that. We're just going to talk about random stuff. If you guys want a topic, you let me know. I'll just tell you about my week because it was kind of a long week. You guys can enjoy the story of it. For those who know me, they know I have a back problem. They know I suffer from daily pain. The last week has been a hell of a storm. Last week, I didn't do anything. It just happened. My sciatic nerve on my right side started to act up. So I wanted to get a tattoo. It was just time. I wanted to get a tattoo before all the traveling started. And I'm going to be traveling this week coming up. But still, I decided now is the time to get a tattoo. So here is what I was getting tattooed. And I was like, hell yeah, let's get a tattoo. And I decided I was going to get Grimlock because I realized I didn't have any tattoos for things that I was personally a fan of. And I thought that was kind of weird. Being a comic book creator and not having anything that you're a fan tattooed on yourself was weird. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to tattoo this to my body. So off I went, made my appointment with my back hurting. And I was like, I'm going to do this. Now, all week, the tattoo's on Thursday, all week, going up to it. My back's killing me. I'm in pain. It was a pretty bad week, but, because smart's not what I do in bulk, I decided to go for it. So Thursday came, and here I am. The very beginning of the tattoo. This is just when the outline was done. I had one of just like the pasted on outline, but I figured I wouldn't give it a shot. So there's the outline, and we're going to do a whole story about this for Written Sins. And I was taking pictures. Now imagine getting a tattoo in a very sensitive spot. Let me tell you, man, I've gotten tattoos and I've fallen asleep during a tattoo more than once. They are no big deal to me. They hurt, but I've never considered them to be anything that was that bad. This one freaking hurt. I was like, ouch, wow. It really hurt, honestly. I was in a lot of pain. It was affecting my back. And it was an intense tattoo, and I'll show you literally how big the tattoo is as we go on. I'm just showing you a couple of these pictures because I figured I'd share them with you to give you what it looks like to get a tattoo. And that weird looking thing on the nose of Grimlock, because it's Grimlock that I'm getting tattooed if you haven't figured it out, and I didn't say it, is actually blood coming out. So that's the weird texture you're getting right there. You'll see it better in here how the blood's coming out. It's a tattoo artist, Vic, great guy, great tattoo artist. He put in all the detail over there. That's him shading. You can see the blue going in. Started taking pictures because I was already 2 hours in at this point, and I think this is the point where I had to actually pee really bad, so I was just trying to distract myself. And that's how it looked finished at the very end. Kind of awesome. Now, to give you a perspective of how big it is, that's my knee at the bottom of it, and that's the top of my hip. So this thing is huge, and it's a lot brighter than it looks in this picture. This is right when I got out of the shower, right after getting the tattoo. So, I mean, you see how big it was, and obviously, just answering a question, obviously with my back hurting, it wasn't probably the smartest thing for me to do. And again, I don't always do things in bulk. I'm very impatient. And if you guys want to take one tip from someone who's impatient and has ADHD real bad, be very patient with their decision making. I probably should have said I wasn't going to do it. So then the next day, my back had radiating spasms. It didn't help that I got tattooed for so long. It didn't help that I was in so much pain the day before that. When you have a back issue like I do, you get problems and it just sucks. and there's no way around it, you know. But I don't know. I don't always like the idea of something dictating what I'm going to do in my life. So I said, "Fuck it, I'm doing a tattoo." And that's what I did. I got a tattoo despite how much freaking pain I was in, and I have no regrets about it. But then I couldn't lay on my one side, and on the opposite side, my back went out. And it's the more commonplace on the side of your back where most people feel back pain. And I was getting radiating spasms. So on Friday, I was in torture. On Saturday, when we went to Iacon, I actually had my stimulator on me. I don't advertise it, honestly. I hide the cords. Usually when I'm out in public, the best I can. For Iacon, because I'm wearing really loose shorts, it was really easy to hide it. So I was electrocuting myself the entire time I was at the Comic-Con to be able to walk around. So the reason I'm sharing this all with you guys is I just wanted everyone to know that, you know, I am sorry that I didn't get the opportunity to post as much as I would have wanted to this week, especially with me going away soon. I really wanted to get more done. I'm sorry. With my back hurting so bad, sometimes I just have problems, and you can hear my voice struggling for air on both videos for this week. Okay, starting a little bit today. It's getting better today. Like, you know, I'm doing this video because we hit the road on Thursday, and I'm not back home till 2 weeks, and then I'm right back out the door to Fort Lauderdale because we're going to Virginia Comic Con on the what is that? Hold on, I'll tell you the dates right now. Why don't we all look together? Because we actually have something cool now. We might as well talk about that a little bit. The roadmap. So this is pretty cool, and maybe I'm going to update my cover. Here are my stops for the Written Sins. So if you ever want to know where I'm going to be, because I'm part of Written Sins and I'm the creator, I'm generally at all these events. I got to touch base with Mimi to talk about. She said she'd cover Tampa for us. But this is just my appearance schedule for us. This is what you'll wind up seeing. This is the territories list. This is the appearance list. So we're just going to go over here. This is our Written Sins comics. This is where we're going to be this year. So this is the next month for me as it's loading. It's going to be pretty jam-packed. We just went there yesterday, so I actually got to remove that. But I'll remove it probably later today. So we went there yesterday. And I left it also so I could talk about it in this video. It was great. I had a lot of fun. Jax had a lot of fun. Like I said, I was in a bit of pain, so I didn't stay as long as I would have liked. It looked like a great show. I can't wait to see the third one. They're having a third one in September, and I'm definitely excited to be part of that. I want to see if I can get a table there. I'm going to be reaching out, so it was fun. I got to see the cosplayer. She actually interacted with Jax. They had a cute moment. Fantastic cosplayer. You guys are going to see more images. I don't like to put images from cons on the weekend because obviously we were all at cons or whatever have you. So she was fantastic. So that was this weekend. I'm headed off to VA Comic Con on the 8th and the 9th. I'll be in Virginia. I believe I'm running into Matt Slay there. And Dan Noakes is there and a couple other creators, I think. And I'm going to be doing press for Written Sins with Jax. We'll be going around talking about Jax the Anderson and everything that's going on, spreading the good word. This is a press event for us. Then the following weekend, I'm in North Carolina. My wife has family there. She's visiting her family. Her and Jax will be doing a lot of family time, but we wound up getting a table there since we're going to be there anyway. And we have we might even be talking about this week tickets, because I realized I bought tickets to the event and now I don't need the ticket. So I'm just going to double check to make sure that any one of our family members didn't want it first. And then if not, I'm going to give it away scot-free to anyone who wants it. Maybe I'll have someone do art for it or something. But, you know, we'll do that. Then that's J2. See, we'll be in J2. And that setup looks interesting. I'm just going to peek in here for a second, and I'm going to borrow this. I'm going to put this in the chat room for you guys who are showing up. If you do want to be part of this, let me just get rid of that. If you do want to be part of this, where is it? The video, my video. Let's see. I think I got to reload the page. If you want to be part of the discussion, I'm going to put the link in. There we are. Right now, you guys can be part of it. by all means, join. Tell me what you want to talk about, or talk about your own project. This is what Spoken Sins Hour is supposed to be. It's all about a full hour of just talking about indie comics. So it's that cool. There we go. So, like I was saying, this is our roadmap over here. There we go. And then, okay, so then I get, I'll be heading back the 17th, and I may get to Florida, back to Florida from North Carolina, because we're probably going to be driving. Still trying to figure out all the travel details this week, but we're pushing off this week, definitely for the VA one. So we're back in Florida on the probably 18th, 19th, we'll be home. And then from the 18th to the 26th, I'm home for a short bit. So I'll actually be able to catch up on some Written Sin stuff, add some things and whatever have you. Then on the 27th to the 30th, I'm in Fort Lauderdale. Now, as of right now, as of this video, obviously, August is dead for me. There's one event where I am, and there's two more I've been made aware of. So we might be doing that. Now, Tampa Bay Comic-Con, the reason I'm not going is that they're at the same time as the Fort Lauderdale one. I love both events. Honestly, Fort Lauderdale one because they allowed me press privileges. And then because they allowed me press privileges, I wound up going with the getting a table. So now I'm just going to have a table there with Alyssa if she can make it. We might have a problem having her there. You guys just might have to be with me. And I'm going to reach out and get another creator to join me at the table like I did last time, because I really do enjoy having other creators with me. It kind of goes hand in hand with what Written Sins is all about. So then after that, August is pretty clear. Now September is gearing up to be something. I don't know why that stayed in there. This tentative. This is no longer tentative. We're going to be there. We have a table there. It should have been updated. I have no idea why the update didn't take. Oh, it did take. It's just down here. So then we have Tampa Bay. Right after Tampa Bay is New York Comic Con. So I'm busy that first weekend, and that's my niece's birthdays right before Comic Con starts. So that's like a super busy week for me in October. Hopefully get to run into my my best friend and my best man at my wedding, Alex. And we'll be able to hang out in the city. A lot of you guys met him last year. He was hanging out with me. Didn't get the table. Kind of bummed about it, but it is what it is. Then Fort Myers Comic-Con in November. I'm excited about that. We already have a table. And then in November, Thanksgiving weekend, I'm going to Chicago for Chicago Pop Culture Convention. They have invited Written Sins to go. Pretty exciting. We're going to have a table. We're a guest of the show. Kind of stoked about it. It's a weird weekend, but I already booked my tickets. So it's first time I've been asked to be a guest of something for something I created. Really excited about it. Hopefully by then we'll have a lot of stuff. We'll talk about a lot of stuff in a minute of my stuff. We'll take a minute and we'll talk about that, but it's an exciting moment. And then Orlando, we're going to be back in 2017. I have to fix this. And what had a table? No, we had a table. Something went wrong, obviously, there. It's a little bit of fixing I have to do on our list. Something went wrong the last time I did it. But we're going to be back at MegaCon in 2018. This was 2017. So these are all the things that we've already covered this year, and it's only going to get bigger. The roadmaps have been updated all over. For some reason, the Written Sins one didn't take. It's the only one I didn't double check. So something must have gone wrong when I was updating it, and it just didn't take it. It's a quick fix, and I'll add that to the things I'm going to do before I leave. So that's the roadmap. That's what I have ahead of me. So I have a lot of traveling to do. I'm going to try to hit New York City in that time frame. Check out some things for possibly Fetish Babies 2, some sites, and get some first-hand pictures if I can. we'll see if I can make that happen. And then I'm actually there are the other artists and creators who are authors who will be doing things while I'm gone. But while I am busy, we're going to be running a lot of best of, celebrating what we've done in June. We have fan art, creator art running the whole month. We're going to have cosplay every day, and I'll try to update you from the road on things that I'm seeing and interesting things. So it should be interesting. I'm excited to be going back towards New York. I mean, even if I can just see the New York, as stupid as this might sound to people, but if I could just get to New Jersey and see the skyscrapers and feel that energy course through my veins, even if I drove back and never stepped on New York City, which I don't see happening if I drive all the way there, just the sight of that city will excite me. If I can squeeze it in, I'd like to take Jax to the Statue of Liberty. We just go to Ellis Island just to give him that kind of look, because I know he's only 2.5, but I really want him to see things and do things and experience things that I didn't necessarily get to do as a kid. And, now that I'm going to be in New York City, I'll never be a tourist in New York City, but he might be, I don't regret, okay, it's weird. I don't necessarily regret living in Florida. The choice of living in Florida is because of what's going on with my back and all that. So I can't control any of that. But I'm just going to put in, let's talk about indie comics. But I miss New York. I do. I really, really do. I love living in New York. And any chance I can get close to it, I want to get there now. I mean, the trade-off is my family's here. I get to hang out with my family a lot. And I'm sure Jax gets more benefits of living down here. But, given the chance, I'll be honest, I'd run back to New York. If everything lines up where I can be back in New York, I'm coming home. It's just the way it is. But so far, no one has asked any questions. I see people coming in and out. I know it's a holiday weekend. We'll just move on to another topic. Let's see what I had lined up. We already talked about my tattoo. Let's see what's going on in our, this is our page, not our group. Let me actually move over to our group. Now, the difference between the group and the page gets direct uploads, so you can, if you ever want to help me out by sharing, and that's very important, especially when I'll be on the road, you guys can share articles. Every day, if you can share articles, the more you share of the articles, the more Facebook leaves me alone and leaves the members of my group alone. I know part of my group just got one of those timeouts from Facebook because we share too much, and that sucks. Apparently, someone has put in The Walking Dead, The New Frontier got right about the Brotherhood. It's a review. Okay, and this is probably going on to our site. It's probably from Daniel. Okay, cool. We got Coppermouth, Kingdom of the Rose. That was great, the first chapter. I can't wait to see how the second turns out. Alter Life, that's now on Kickstarter. There is me talking about getting that tattoo. Now I have it. I am going to get that Me Grimlock Kick Butt tattooed on it. We're talking about maybe even putting a background on it. So there's more to come with that tattoo, but I am so glad that we didn't finish or add that at that moment, because I needed the break at that point. My skin felt nuclear. Satine, we revisited her profile. Fantastic creator. She worked with me on Fetish Babies #1. Now doing her own stuff. Very proud of the stuff I've seen coming from her. Stanley Anderson, not a relation, shared something called One Sided. It's the first I'm seeing it. He did it yesterday when I was on the road. So looks interesting, actually. That's kind of cool. I kind of dig that. All right. So that's going to be something I want to check out. Oh, look, Jax the Anderson. This is us talking about the Kickstarter. We're going to talk about that more in a minute. Rapid Eye #2. This looks like it's going to be fantastic. Italiano. did successfully fund. I know that for a fact it is successfully funded. Speaking of things that I know for a fact, I just want to give another shout out to Josh Dahl. For those who don't know Josh is a great creator. He created Below Zero. Let me just hit this up right here. Melissa got home safe. Melissa was at, I always screw up the name of it. I was actually trying to get there. They never got back to me about press pass or anything like that, so I didn't wind up going. And because the weekend had something here in Florida, but she was at a Comic-Con, and I always screw up the name. It's Magic something, and I know there's another Magic one in Detroit. Either way, she had a fantastic time. We're going to get to see that this week. This is Josh. Josh is a great creator, like I said. This is me giving a shout out to Josh Dahl yesterday, live from the event. I just want him to feel better. I know he's having trouble seeing right now, and I know he said he could hear things. So if he hopefully he watches this video and he hears that, I wish him the best. Something to do with his eyes. I didn't quite get the whole thing because the video was breaking up badly where we were, you know, con reception and what have you. But yeah, I mean, I hope him the best. I hope he gets healthy sooner than later. You know, we're always pulling for fellow creators to get over being sick or any injuries most we can. So Josh, if you hear this, I hope you're feeling better once you hear this. And I hope to have you back on rotation in the Comic-Con circuit sooner than later. So what we were looking at some stuff. Geek Girl from Sam Johnson. Number 2 has hit shelf. Well, actually, it's been out for a while, but I guess this is his, sorry, number 3. This is his jump-on issue where you can get involved in it because it gives you kind of a recap. Night is ending tomorrow, I believe. No, Night ends July 4th. So it doesn't end tomorrow. It's got one more day. There is something ending tomorrow. We'll go down the Kickstarter list in a minute and check it out. We got Jax the Anderson again, some more Italiano, the Power Company. That should be in the final time, so if you haven't backed it, your time is running out. I don't know what the healer is. I'm going to have to actually add this. We're going to take a look at this. And I don't know why, but lately Kickstarter's been doing this. When you go to Kickstarter, and here, I'm going to actually show you something cool. All right, here is a pro tip you guys might not know. Now, the first thing we'll do is we'll make sure that the link's not bad. Okay, we know the link's not bad, and we're looking at the healer. The healer looks kind of cool. First impressions. Okay, so now we're going to take this, we're going to go over here, and we're going to look at something called Facebook Debugger. Okay. Now, Facebook Debugger is going to... Let's see, we took that. Okay, so it shows this. Now, before it didn't show it, so sometimes what you can do is you can just come here and go scrape. Now, what that does is Facebook is now requesting a new image. So occasionally for written sins, you'll see things not posted there with this white thing or no information whatsoever, and it just gives you the web website. And there's us talking about the newer artist on Fetish Babies, which we'll get to in 1 second. But let's just take a look to see if this is actually doing what it's supposed to do. So we're going to go here to Written Sins on Facebook, and we're going to drop it in. Now, this is our different site, so I'm just testing it on our site, but I'm also trying to give love to the creator because I know he's a great guy. So I'm going to add him to our actual page, which we have over 1,000 subscribers. I don't even know how many, to be honest with you, at this point. I know that we're well over 1,000 now. I don't even know where to check something like that on this. I just know that I get the updates every so often, and the last time I saw an update, I thought it said like 1,100. All right, so now it does that. So before it wasn't doing that, so maybe I did help fix it by putting it in the debugger. I hope I did. If it's out there, fix things. Now, Retro Elite, it doesn't always work. But, yeah, I mean, and you can see some of the numbers that we see. Here it is. We're 100% response time. We have, wow, almost 1,400 followers. And we have post reach just this week is 10,757. So that gives you an idea of what we deal with on a weekly basis. as far as views and our reach, when we're talking about our reach, that's Facebook's number. We didn't have a great week this week on Facebook. We didn't share a lot, actually, and that is one thing I could use some help with. Two of the people who were sharing for me, one got busy doing their own thing, and God bless them, and the other person who was doing something for me in regards to sharing just kind of dropped off, and that happens sometimes, you know. No hard feelings for that. You know, everyone gets busy, and I appreciate the help anyone can give. But over the next week, I would love for you guys to help me out by sharing the things you think are cool. That's all. If you think it's cool, just give it a share. That's all I really ask. Okay, guys, let's move on, or back, in this case, to written sentence. Okay, we got a different artist. So basically, here's the news. We're going to be making Fetish Babies #2 a double-sized issue. Now, Fetish Babies 1 came in at 32 pages, which, for the most part, considering what indie comics are, is almost a double-sized comic book. And that's why I really didn't have an issue when I did the Kickstarter charging $10 for our PDF, because there was so much content. It was a lot of story, and it was done in an interesting way, and the art was fantastic. Unfortunately, being stupid, I copied a lot of the stuff from Fetish Babies onto Jax the Anderson and then started editing it. Obviously, because they're two different genres, but I would take certain things and just copy and paste or set up the tiers, and I forgot to change the damn PDF cost for Jax the Anderson. We'll talk about that in a minute. But this one's going to be huge. It's going to be, right now, we're looking at 40 pages of panel and artwork and like inside comic books. So this is going to sound, I guess, silly, but it's the truth. I create what I want to see, and I don't think about the math, and I know it's probably going to bite me in the butt at one point that I don't think of the math first, but the first thing I think about is the creation, and I don't cut corners. And, you know, when I work for Marvel or I work for DC, I'm sure they're going to hate me for that. But when I talk to my artists, one of the first things I do when we go over a scene is I ask them, well, do you think you can make this work, or do you think you need room? And artists a lot of times are going to ask for room. They're going to ask to expand, and I'm very rare to say, no, I don't want to expand it. The only time I think I'd say no on expanding something is when I know that there's a bigger story there, and I don't want to tip my hat to what's going on, just as a writer. To fill in sometimes when you expand a panel or a scene also means that you have to change the story a bit, and there are certain times I don't want to have you looking where I don't want you looking yet. So I won't expand that particular moment any more than I have to. But so Fetish Babies, to deal with that, and we did have a bit of an artist issue. No hard feelings. It just didn't work out. There were timing issues and all that. So to compensate for that, we went out. We split the book into 2 parts, because there's always 2 parts in the actual the script, because the script's from a novel. I actually wrote a full-thing novel. We're actually adapting the novel to a comic book, and then we're going to readapt the novel to fit more of the comic book, and it'll give a lot more information that's missing from the comic book that'll be mostly about other stuff. But now we have 2 different artists involved, so this is it. Now, Jax is actually crying in the other room, so I'm going to actually just I won't end the video yet because I don't know what's wrong with him. He's in the middle of the nap. He just might need his back rubbed. He might think he's alone. So I'm going to hit play here, and I'll be back in 1 minute, and we'll see. Maybe I'll have him sit on my lap while I finish.
I am usually the voice of WrittenSins.com, but today I am the voice of Jax the Anderson's Kickstarter. It's about the world seen through the eyes of the son of comic book creators. And what that means is this is an opportunity for comic book creators like myself to be able to showcase how creativity and imagination is not necessarily lost by people who continue to create later in life, and how being able to be a person who creates can also inspire your children's imaginations. I think that it's a topic that isn't spoken about a lot, but I do see being so involved in the indie comics culture and on Facebook, how every comic book creator talks very fondly that I know of about their children, how their children also inspire them. And so I think that if we could show how children inspire us and how we inspire children, that'd be a fantastic project. That's why I started this project. And we have begun to create a new world where we can show my son experiencing the world, not only through Comic-Cons, but also discussions that you might not normally have with a father, son, or a mother, daughter, that would happen if they weren't comic book creators, because comic book creators kind of keep their head in a creative fashion. We look at the world a lot differently, and this gives kind of an insight to that, and also tells a very good story, which will have a moral foundation. Now, one of the things that we're most excited about with all the stretch goals, and there are many stretch goals that we're hoping to obtain, one being not only able to fund issue 1, but fund issue 2 in one single Kickstarter. And if we're able to justify the cost through a stretch goal of 2 issues, we are going to be able to put those 2 issues into one book. How that will play out, we'll talk about when we hit that goal. That goal will be $6,000. The bigger goal that we have of hitting that $6,000 is it also begins to switch our gears to book 3. As of right now, in this series, Jax has this first story where he talks about what it means to be a superhero. In the second book, we have Jax making a brand new friend at a Comic-Con, who is going to be our artist, Dave Brown's contributing story of his daughter. So we're excited to have story 2 be about friendship. Now, story 3, as we're planning it right now, is all going to be about creators and their children beyond me and Dave. What that means is we're going to be reaching to do the first of its kind comic book coloring book anthology. So it's going to be an anthology of creators telling stories of their children and how they have inspired their children, or maybe their children have inspired them to be more creative and more imaginative. We are thrilled and excited for you to come along on this project. It is one of its kind because it is going to be really embracing and celebrating imagination. And in this day and age, I think imagination is definitely something we need more of, and especially with our children. I certainly hope you guys come along for the trip. I know it's going to be a great time for me to be part of it as just a creator, but I do sincerely think that everyone can find this book enjoyable, no matter what age you are. I think that if you can read, once you read it, and you see all the art, you see all the beauty that is interaction between father and son, and friends in book 2, and in book 3, when you see all these creators come together to tell these stories, I think you guys are going to be impressed, and I really do hope you come along for the journey. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, and I really do hope that you enjoy the book, because I know that everyone's going to want a copy, and we're more than happy to get it into your hands.
All right, guys. Jax had a bit of a nightmare. Yeah, he's telling me all about it. He's not too happy. He's in my arms right now. I'll try to keep going with the video, because maybe my talking will help calm him down, and he can go back to sleep. This is definitely a nightmare thing, and sometimes he finds my talking soothing. I think I bore him, and it makes him pass out. So that's Jax the Anderson. While we're here, I'll go over some stuff because he's in my arms, and I'll just tell you guys what's going on. So there's the PDF. Remember I was talking about PDF? Like, we first launched this, I didn't even realize it was still 10 from when I was doing it with Fetish Babies. Now, I think the art is spectacular, and you can see that right here. I love the art on this project. But, I mean, it's a kid's book. There's not a lot of content on it. And while kids' books are a lot more expensive to print than comic books, which I was shocked about, and we don't know what circulation we're going to get. I think that it's easy to justify a printed copy at $15 on Kickstarter. I definitely thought the PDF should be less. And because I want to get people to get excited about this project, like it said about issue number 3 and how that's going to be a giant collaborative issue, I was really wanted it to be a lot cheaper, so we made it $4. Plus, if you pledge 6, you get a wallpaper. So we tried to give something there that was cool. We were also doing the hats. Now, not hats. I'm sorry. We did debate hats. We just never got to hats. We're doing that T-shirt. Orange is Jax's favorite color, and for some reason, I just thought it really matched. I thought it was really cool. Jax actually fell asleep in my arms while we're doing this video. So Jax is actually sleeping on me now. His nightmare is over. He has daddy in he's in daddy's arms, so he's safe. So we're gonna just keep going. So yeah, this is gonna be the T-shirt. I can't wait to get my copy on it, my hands on it, and get mine. It is going to be not exclusive for Kickstarter. We're actually gonna sell it at events too. But I mean, if you're not gonna see me in an event, this is a great place to get it. Plus, you're supporting us. Jax the Anderson, the 7 Deadly Kickstarter Questions. This is actually me coming up with a new concept because I've been playing with it, and we did something with Austin Hamble for Steel Wool, and I really wanted to take advantage of it, and I've tried a couple times, and it's just a formatting thing. Sometimes it takes you a while to really get a feel for it because I thought everyone should do an interview for the Kickstarter. But I wanted the interviews to be about the Kickstarter, but it was like I was taking too much time trying to, I think, gear it towards individual creators. So I've been playing around, and I finally figured out the right formula for all the questions. And occasionally we might throw a hardball question in there, but for now, WS was the moderator, and I answered the questions, which we came up with together, me and WS, which is what is your goal and why that goal amount? Why is this project important to you? Why go through Kickstarter? What makes your Kickstarter stand out? Will this be going an ongoing series, and how important are your stretch goals? And then at the very end, it says, if you saw this project pretending it wasn't yours, what would you, what do you think? What would you think you would think of it, and how would you react to it, and why? And then we do a bonus question where we let the creators give the pitch at the end. And we're going to start trying to do this. I already got Calb and Eric from Eric's from Blister. Calb is from Alter Life. I want to say issue 3. I think it's issue 3 of 5. Which is on Kickstarter now. And he's already answered that. Eric's already going to answer. It's going to be something we're really going to push, because I think it really does boil down a Kickstarter to 7 questions or less. I think after those 7 questions, you're going to know if you want to back it or not. And that's just my opinion on it. And I'm going to stick to that opinion because I think it's a good opinion on it. And it's so cute. I don't know if you guys can hear, but Jax is actually snoring in my arms. It is adorable to have him in my arms snoring while we're talking about his Kickstarter. Okay, I just got quiet for a second because I was answering. I'm just going to answer a quick question. I'm going to put out a share. I can't see the time right now. Oh, there it is, 6. So okay, we're gonna be out for another 20 minutes. It's so funny. Jax has gotten to that point. He's 2.5 almost. Is he 2.5? Yeah, almost 2.5 now. And I've become somewhat of a comfort blanket for him for his nightmares. We don't know why he's having nightmares. It's just a phase, but he's always had them since he was little. And yesterday, when I was at a gas station, I wanted to pay cash for gas, and I told him I'd be right back, and for some reason he just freaked out. And I left the car on, the AC was running, like he was fine, like that regards. But just seeing me walk inside, even for that 1 minute, just freaked him out. And I think that he's been kind of going through separation anxiety. When he woke up from his nap and I wasn't right next to him, I think that if he did have a bad dream, it really made it worse. So it's so cute. But it's so adorable to have your kid hugging you while they're sleeping and they're laying on you, you know. And I've been in so much pain with my back lately. It's almost weird to say that even though when he's on me it hurts like hell, it's still very comforting because, you know, as a parent, I get comfort from him knowing that I make him feel comfortable. If that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but it makes sense to me. Okay, so I just sent that out the last time. I'm going to invite anyone in. So like I said, we're only going to go for about 20 minutes more. So yeah, that was one of the reasons we did. I wanted to do that, and I showed, as always, when I try to launch something, I try to show how I would interact with it. The first person I ever got interviewed for Written Sins was me. So I wanted to see, you know, you can tell a person something, but until you see someone go through it, you're almost not sure about it. Once you see someone go through it, you get a feel for it. And that's what this is. Everyone got a feel for how I did, how I answered it. And I even found that I thought that by these questions, I realized I maybe had forgotten to talk about certain things in this. And I thought it really helped my Kickstarter by having this. And, you know, one of the things that I realized that I hadn't really talked about is I've talked so much about I've talked about the project of Jax the Anderson, but I really didn't nail down the fact of what is this stage of the product, this first issue or book. And the reason we go back and forth between issue and book is if we raise enough money, we're going to make it an official children's book. But as of right now, we're going to get everything printed through Kablam to get the Kickstarter started, to get books in people's hands, to get it to the Comic-Cons, and to excite people about the project. We are in pre-production for book 3. For those of you who don't know what book 3 is when you're watching this video, so here's the thing. I came up with this because I saw Jax interacting with people at Comic-Cons. And then someone asked me about if I had family-friendly titles for the Fort Myers Comic-Con coming up in November. And I was like, you know, I should. You know, I realized that a lot of the stuff I write is a little above my niece's head, or definitely over Jax's head, and he couldn't read it for years. And even my nephew, who's 13, it's a little above him. And some of the things I write, he shouldn't be reading yet. So I wanted to change that. And I wanted to do something that was different. And I started Jax the Anderson. And at that point, I had also, we had changed a quick 5-page story into a full issue, which you guys have heard me talk about, and So They Call Us Monsters, which will be coming out. I haven't decided if I want to kickstart that. I want to finish lettering it, and I want to get some feedback from people. I'm proud of the project. I love the art in the project. I just want to know if people think it's a commercial project or if it's an artistic project, and I'm okay with it just being an artistic project. I love the book. I love my take on monsters and, you know, my nod to Scooby-Doo. But that's just me. And, you know, what I really want to do is always create fantastic stories. But I realize that sometimes while you're creating fantastic stories, you might not be creating something that's commercial or viable for everyone to want to be part of as much as you want to be part of it. So what I've been talking about this project so much, and the fact that it's going to lead to this book 3, and book 3 is going to be this collaborative effort of all these different creators. And so far, I'm impressed with the creators who have said yes, and I can't wait to start sharing those names with you. This is not on purpose. I'm not sharing any names because until we funded book 1, I don't, just until Kickstarter is over, I won't be releasing the names unless we get far enough up. It's just how I feel like I should approach it. We will be starting issue 2 at the back end of issue 1. We're already greenlit issue 2. We already know the story. I just have to finish writing it. Because I want some feedback from my artist, Dave Brown, because it's about his daughter. I want to know if there's any turns or changes he wants, or anything in particular he wants added for her. So we're going to be, issue 2 goes right into it, and issue 3 has begun pre-production, which is pretty much me getting with people. And then, you know, the details are going to be pretty simple. You contribute the work. You either write it, you draw it, and then you sign away the rights for us to use, not sign away indefinitely, but you sign them for me to use in this giant jumbo comic coloring book anthology. And we'll be able to reproduce that continuously. You give us permission to do that. Now, I do not stop anyone from going out and publishing it on their own when they're done with their work. The only thing they cannot do is continue in the format without permission from us. Basically, I don't want anyone using that this is from this anthology, this is that. They want to take it out and say it's their own and do it differently and not make it a coloring book. So, you know, so be it. You know, they can do that. But if it's going to try to attach itself to Jax the Anderson, I want to just check content. That's it. If the content sits well with Jax the Anderson and it's still a children's book format and they want to go do it on their own, I'll support them. This is, you know, this is what I want. From book 3, that jumbo coloring book, I'd love to see people span out and do their own stuff. The only reason I ask is that people show me is I don't want someone touching a topic that could affect the rest of us, and that's the only reason that there'll be that break on it. But if they want to do something on their own and not mention where it's coming from, they want to step away and like go in their own direction, God bless, no hard feelings. You know, I'm not trying to own anyone's rights to anything. The only thing we're going to own is the right to produce it. And once we produce it, we'll be able to give it to creators. And the way you make money off this project is the old-fashioned way. You sell it. You know, you'd pay for those who can meet in areas, we'll try to set it up where, you know, maybe up north, someone will get a delivery and down south we'll get a delivery, and we'll try to all meet somewhere and get the books, or we'll ship it to people. Whatever that is, the cost of the book is the cost of the book, and then everyone makes the same amount of money. It's an equal share program. And that's exciting. You know, that's thrilling. Then there'll be so many people that are going to be part of this project that way. So, I mean, we all want to talk about our kids. I mean, Jax is here laying on my chest, sleeping. And it's one of the greatest moments of my life to have him take comfort in it. And as creators, we don't often get to share that side of ourselves with the world. And I know I certainly don't with some of the things that I write. You know, Dark Justice is a very dark comic book. And I'm hoping to see that. You know, I was on the fence with Dark Justice if Dark Justice was ever going to see light, because to be honest with you, Dark Justice is coming to bear right now. And maybe I'm just a little ego-driven in this, but I almost feel like people will think that I'm just reading headlines and making a story up. No one realizes that, I mean, this story was built and I saw it coming. But I also thought that there might be a contemporary feeling to the story now. Like, it used to be set in the future, and now the future's now. I started working on Dark Justice damn near 13 years ago. I called that we were going to have a corporate president. I remember everyone telling me that was my biggest mistake. We would never elect a corporate president. Now we have Donald Trump. And he's doing the same shit that I highlighted in the fucking book. So I think I'm going to go ahead with it next year. I got to find the right artist. I've had a lot of artist problems with that. Same thing with Gothic Blue, which is attached to it, NYR, all going under Sinful Comics. That I can't share with my with the younger generation. Very dark. Fetish babies, obviously. And so they call us monsters. I think I have to read the book again. I think there's some potty mouth language that maybe I'll remove to make it a little bit more PG and not necessarily PG-13. Dark Justice, I think, would be R because of the content. I think I could get Gothic Blue to PG-13. But again, I tell stories I want to know, and I do that my way, the way I want to do it, specifically because of because I want to read. I want to give you guys stuff that I would want to read. So with this big jumbo coloring book that we have coming out, with all these different creators being involved and spinning this stuff off, I've been so excited talking about that to go way back to what we talked about 5 minutes ago. I wanted to talk, I forgot to talk about what this issue is about. And I said it in the video, but I never wrote it. So some people don't watch the video. So in this, I actually got to talk about what this book was actually about. And for those who don't know, because I don't talk about it a lot. Even in our title up here, sorry about the fast scroll. This story is about having creative parents and going to Comic Cons, and that doesn't talk about what this particular story is. It gives you no plot points. It gives you no idea of what we're actually talking about. So the interview got me the chance to talk about, oh yeah, issue number 1 starts with Jax asking me, what's a superhero? Because, I mean, I literally wrote this story in 10 minutes, and I don't mean I rushed it. I mean, it came to me that quickly. And within 10 minutes, I had written the first rough draft. Now, obviously, since then, it changed, and I tweaked it, and I put a lot more time than 10 minutes into it. But, I mean, I was so thrilled with it in 10 minutes. It all just made sense, and it all felt right. And then from there, when I went to Facebook and how quickly I found artists, and I had like the pick of the litter, as the expression was, where there were all these artists that wanted to do it. And for some reason, and I just felt it was important that I teamed with someone who had a child and would understand parenthood, because I thought that there was a powerfulness behind there. So Dave Brown was one of the first artists that I knew had kids, came to me, we talked, and just he got it instantly. There was that connection. We both understood what we wanted out of the project, and we both agreed to a partnership in the project, and we made issue 1. And as we were making issue 1, we were talking about the future of the project, and I talked about bringing his daughter into the second book for that, and I was like, but you know what would be cool, Dave? What if we got everyone we knew that's a creator to be part of this big project? What if we made it a coloring book? How friggin' cool would that be? And that's the moment. That's the moment where it all came. And I actually looked it up, and I was like, someone has to have done this. And creators have made comic books, but nothing like this. There's never been a comic book anthology. And, I just happened to stumble upon the one thing that hadn't been done yet. And I want to do it. So that's why this project's so important to me. That's why we Kickstarted it, as opposed to, and so they call us monsters. I might not Kickstart. It depends. If I hear people really like it, I'll Kickstart it and try to make it for a wider audience, because you want books for your table. And as Written Sins gets a table at Sinsful Comics, and my wife is setting up these tables and she's at them, she can have that. And I always stop by at the events because I need somewhere to sit in between covering it for Written Sins. So that's the long story about that. So Jax D. Anderson and that new framework that we have makes it amazing to do that. You can see digital wallpaper. You can see all this cool stuff that we're giving out. We might add things as it goes on. I've actually had a few artists that have asked if I want to have some fan art made for this project because they're excited about it. And a couple of them, like, I'm not sure how that would work. So maybe let's see how the project goes, because I don't know. Because, I mean, right now I'm a little nervous about fan art because, or other artists touching this, because this is Dave's. And I'm like, if someone asked me to write this right now, besides me, I'd be upset if it had to do with Jax. So I kind of don't want that right now. I might offer it. I might let an artist touch it, but I'd have to talk to Dave first about it. And we're just we'll see. It's 30 days. 30 days is a long time, First, I'm going to let Dave finish it. I'm not going to pressure him. I'm going to let him show me the end result. And then from there, maybe we'll talk. I mean, I kind of like Dave being on this. With Fetish Babies, I didn't really let anyone else touch it besides Satane. The only thing we did were 2 alternative things, and they were both about the future of the book or promotion for the book. So I might do a promotion piece with someone, might do some teaser art for maybe a creator who's coming on board for issue 3. That's not out of the woodwork yet to show something. I know that one of the things that I've had a lot of questions about so far is Add My Kid. Just to talk about it while Jax is waking up in my arms. Make Your Child a Star means that your kid in book 3 will write the story for you, will have it illustrated for you. You don't have to do anything. So this is obviously not really intended for a creator, because I'm sure a creator would want creative control over it. But if even if you want to give it as a gift, because someone asked me, could they give it as a gift? And I told them, listen, I have no problem doing this as a gift, but get permission first, because I don't want to have some kid in my book who I don't necessarily have the parents' permission and that become a thing, you know, because that could be bad, you know, and I don't want to have to deal with any of that nonsense. So if you have permission and they know and you want to do it as a gift that way, by all means. And then the other one was 150 to be a cameo, or 100. We went with 100 to have your kid show up in the book. $100, we draw your kid into issue number 2. They'll have a cameo spot somewhere. Issue number 2, I'll tell you right now, it happens at a Comic-Con. So there'll be the avenue to introduce characters there very easily. And issue 2 obviously kicks off issue number 3. So it won't be hard to fit some kids in. There's a limited amount. I think I limited that to, yeah, just 4. I don't know if 4 people are going to want it, because a lot of the creators I know who would want it are just jumping on issue number 3 and being part of issue number 3, which I can completely respect and understand. I'm already I'm telling you, like 6 people want to do this with me. And it's to the point now where I got to figure out how big of a jumbo comic book this is going to be and how many pages that is, because we might fill up real quick. Sorry, someone just messaged me. Not about what we're talking about right now, but just messaged me. So that's Jax the Anderson. Gotten some great creators telling me that it's a fantastic idea, which is important to hear your fellow creators, the people, you know, peers of yours telling you, hey, you got a great idea. I want to see what happens with it. We're already at 314, and you see the goal is only 750. You know, I get this is the story of my son, and it can feel like a vanity project. And that's why I'm not asking for a lot on issue 1. Because here's the deal. I know I get issue 1 out there. I know let's say we get $750, and you know how Kickstarter is. By the time it's all said and done, I have $400. I'll put that $400 into getting as many books as we can, and I'll kick in money to make it more books. And then I'll get Dave some books, and I'll have some books, and we'll get it into people's hands. And the PDFs, and this is why I made the PDFs so cheap, $4, because I want you to read it. I want everyone to read Jax the Anderson, the first book. And I want you to see how serious I take this project and how well it can be produced. And I think at the end of it, book 1, and I really do think from the bottom of my heart, at the end of book 1, you'll read it and go, I want more. I want to see what Rob can do with this, because there are some people who now are friends with me because they saw I did fetish babies, and I'm not going to stop doing fetish babies. But that's the point of it, at least for me. I don't care who puts me in a box and calls me this. Like, you want to say, oh, Rob does those adult books. I've heard that commonly said about me by someone that told me that was a reference made towards me. That's cool. You can do that. I won't go in that box, though. I'm not saying I don't do that, but I don't just do that. You know, if you want to call it an adult book, whatever. You know, yes, I do things that talk about sex. Ooh, oh my God. Let's all act like great Prudence. I can't say the name. The one that came over on the Mayflower, who wanted to be strict about their religion and shit. You want to be that kind of person? Be that person. God bless you. But I won't be in that box. So if I want to make a kid's book on Tuesday, I'll make a kid's book on Tuesday. On Wednesday, I'll talk about Wild Space with Jacob. On Thursday, I'll talk to my creative team for Fetish Babies 2. And on Friday, I'll talk to Claudia about issue number 2 of And They Call Us Monsters. And then there's Matt Slade, who I got a project with. I got my good friend, Mr. Hudson, who's Hodson. I always say Hudson, so from New York. Hodson, who we're doing something fantastic that was in the news recently. And I was like, motherfucker, another one of my projects has come true. And there's 3 other projects I got going on. Everyone knows last year I had the failure of Gothic Blue. I won't talk badly about the artist. It's just not my style. But they just up and disappeared on me. Sucked. I'd like to finish that story, so that's on the burner as always. And I've got, you know, I'm not trying to be elusive with projects that I have. I just haven't really committed to which one is going to be next. That's why I just haven't. I've got 4 or 5 that I can do. I still got all my anthology work that hasn't come out yet. That's in creative hell at the moment, or production hell. as the movies call it. So, I mean, a lot of work, a lot of credited work. I'm just not getting the credit for right now, because if you don't release it, how could it be credited work? And that's it. That's what the Kickstarter is. I mean, if anyone has questions, I've been talking now for an hour. You guys can ask the questions. I'm going to start wrapping this up. Just going to take a quick look. Josh Stahl, once again, feel better. I'm going to make sure we covered every point I wanted to. This was, we were talking about fetish babies. Oh, that's Eric. No peeking. That's something for later. This is, we had seasons review. We had Cal was talking about a special Cyberpunk cross promotion with the Alter Life, which is kind of cool. The Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. hit this week. This is the new t-shirt. You know what? Shit, I never even promoted this. So here, for everyone who watches this video, would you buy this t-shirt? I have these t-shirts being printed right now, and I hate when my site does that. But now, if you ever notice that, that's because the way the site is set up, there's a parameter issue with this particular setting. So if you ever see this and I haven't caught it, just scroll down. Sometimes if you scroll down, you'll see the full-size image, because I know it happens. It's the template we use. It doesn't work perfectly. I've got to alter it, as you guys can see. And by altering it, it causes these issues occasionally. But this is actually how the shirt's going to look. Originally, for those who saw the original version, it said, "I am the advocate for indie comics," and it had Sinful Comics mixed in there. I changed it a bit. I took out Sinful Comics because I thought it was almost wrong, because that was not something that everyone could be part of. That's commercial, and I actually think I wanted to talk about that and have it open. It's my wife's business. Most of my comics will be sold from there, but she's looking to acquire possibly other titles along the way as it gets profitable. And I know Lee's actually got something that she's got to read, and I want to read it too. Just haven't gotten there yet. But Lee A. Gooden, who you guys have seen, I've worked with in the past. But this is the t-shirt. I am kind of excited about said t-shirt. Sorry, just another answered question while we're live. So yeah, this is the t-shirt. I turned it into "We Are Advocates" purposely because it felt wrong being like I was the only advocate. So I wanted to make it into something plural. Oh, Jax's sleeping sounds are making me sleepy. But this is the advocates for indie comics, because I think we all are. And I think it's going to take an army to get all of our stuff out there. So I do think it's important. I notice people are dwindling, and that's cool. I'm not upset about that. We all got things to do. It is an hour, so I've done the 60 minutes. Thank you for all of you who have joined us on the show today. If you guys have any questions, as always, I'm very reachable. I'm gonna let Sleeping Jack sleep for a bit. I'll answer some of the questions that came over while I was doing this. Let me just make sure we got everything. Okay, so we talked about Jack's. We talked about the roadmaps, which always give us more information if you have them. Let's see, what else did we have? We talked about the appearances of the Written Sins team, where we're going to be. This is Sinful Comics. Now, as you see, okay, remember this anti-bullying story it's a standalone. It could be almost a comic. We got some t-shirts, and unfortunately, you'll notice that some of the t-shirts in here are like rock bottom prices. The reason for that is because we changed the artist. Like up here, you'll see this is now being sold for $3. That was the teaser art, and these are all gotten dropped down to pretty much cost. And the reason we're doing that is because if we're not going to keep that artist, nothing against the artist, we don't want the image to last. I mean, it's still a quality shirt, still good art. It's nothing bad, and I probably could just keep it and try to sell it at full price. But I'd rather liquidate it, honestly, liquidate the t-shirts and sell them for as cheap as I can. Give you guys a huge deal. Just make back the money to print new shirts for the new book. instead. We got a pretty good deal on these shirts, so we're able to sell them at $10. I might even slash it down to $5 and take a bit of a hit on it, because well, it's not me, it's really my wife. She makes up the price points, but I suggest them to her. She wasn't happy that I wanted to liquidate as it was, but you know, it is what it is. And the reason it's at 10 is because remember we have to collect taxes for it on it too. That's where I might just take the hit and not worry about taxes and get it to as cheap as we can to give it out to you guys. It's always cheaper at the shows because you won't have to pay for shipping. So if you want one of those and you're local in Florida, let me know now. I'll bring it to you at the show. You know, I'll make sure I have that size for you if I have that size. For Jax the Kickstarter, we only did men's t-shirts because we didn't think that you needed a form-fitted one for women's for Jax the Anderson. Just felt kind of off to think of form-fitting with him. So we went with the male t-shirts, so they'll be baggy. But the other t-shirts, like the Fetish Babies ones, there are fitted female ones. It's Central Comics. Oh, I'm sorry. All of his sleeping sounds in my ear are making me so tired. Now you see, like we do separate it, and there's an all ages section. The all ages section is eventually going to be called, which we're going to be changing. It won't have the Sinful Comics thing. I don't know why it has the mission statement. Because the mission statement, there should be, I guess we haven't gotten enough through Jax one. Once Jax is printed, this section will be a lot better. And we're going to make a Little Devils thing for it. So that might be something I do. Turn Jax into a little devil. So there's that. And Kickstarters. Oh, yeah. Okay. Here, yeah, you see the 7 deadly questions of Kickstarter and all that. This is our weekend update. Let's just take a quick run at this, and let's see. I think I can get this done pretty quick. So let's do the list. Okay, Coalition, turn on the power. This is Power Comics. Oh, still with the, okay. I don't know. All right, I know why that's there. Okay, so this is ending momentarily. You got to have like an hour or so left. I'm going to take a look real quick. You have officially, I can't see. Oh, it's done. It's over. It's already brought to life. So that one, you screwed up. You can't be part of it. I'm sorry. Hireth, I think I'm saying that wrong. Cool story about a pregnant woman facing her future on a bad day and trying to decide what the world will be after dealing with devastating loss. It's more of a human tale. That's our pick of the week if you haven't done it already. Get yourself an R4AU patch to support autism awareness. Toothville has gone into its 2nd issue from the fantastic Kim Roberts. This is definitely a Kickstarter that'll make you laugh. Every dollar counts. That means $1 can make a huge difference. And you can prove that to me by giving me a simple $1 on Jax the Anderson's Kickstarter. But do yourself a favor. If you're going to back Jax the Anderson, back it for $4 and get the PDF. The night has returned to Kickstarter, but the night is about to turn to day because the Kickstarter is almost over. Already fully funded. It is going to launch, so take the opportunity to get yourself some swag and get yourself a copy today. You're the Goat's another one that has more than done its share of funding, but you can also get an action figure before it's too late. Never forget to support our veterans. I saw the most beautiful Budweiser thing from the guy who plays the bad guy in the new Star Wars, Ken. Wow, I can't say the name now because I'm going to screw it up. And I'm going to feel horrible. You know who I'm talking about, the new bad guy, the new Vader. I'm not going to say it so anyone can do it. They got little babies doing sleep sounds in my ear, making me want to go to sleep. So I'm not screwing up an end. Killer Bees is ending this week. Become a tag team partner of this great line by tagging in some funds and getting behind it. I believe they're just about funded. Let me see. I saw John yesterday, John Crother, great guy. We hung out a bit at Icon. Okay, they are so close. Okay, they're going to definitely make it with 9 days to go. Only $200 to go. But we're doing, by the way, anyone who watched this and actually sat through it until this point, we are doing a Kickstarter live talk. We're going to do it tomorrow, not Tuesday. We're going to switch it because I didn't realize July 4th was Tuesday. So because July 4th is now Tuesday, we're switching days and it'll be here. So we're going to do it on Monday. Oh, Jax is killing me. The sleeping baby sounds make me tired. So yeah, that's just about fun. So we have that. We have Cross Stitch Your Way to Horror with the Evil Dead, the Book of Thread. You have the Nightmare Kill I'm off. Facets. I know I'm saying it wrong. I can't. I know in my mind what it's supposed to sound like. I just can't do it right now. But you know what it is. Great. I mean, just an unimaginable group of talent is behind this and creating this. That's it. I mean, that's all you really need to know is that the names go on and on. They're fantastic. Eric, who actually was inboxing me, he will be doing the Kickstarter questions, the 7 deadly Kickstarter questions. So what he was talking about. That's why I said you guys couldn't look. He has Blister. Fantastic story. I can't wait to get my copy. He is fully funded. He's moved on to Stretch Goals. Light Chasers by Mike Slade. Fantastic book about intolerance and superpowers. Alter Life 3 has made it to Kickstarter and is following its predecessors by getting massive amount of support. He has hit the halfway part with just about 25 days to go. That's fantastic. Number 15. Oh, this is about cats sent. It's called Catapulted. Comic book about cats sent into space based on the true story of France's efforts during the 1950s. Space race. So they sent Pussy into space. You know, it's the French. What else do you expect? Jax the Anderson, my little boy. He's got the little bunny there. That might be copyright infringement. Fuck him. It's a cool bunny. Maybe that's Stabity Bunny. Who knows? Maybe Jax is reading Stabity Bunny. Richard Rivera. It doesn't look like it, but you never know. Fantastic art. I'm in love with this book. I want to back this book. Speaking of backing, we did talk about that, and I'll touch on it real quick in this. There is a way now to officially back a project without having a Kickstarter account. If you're trying to help someone with it, make sure you're not signed into your Kickstarter. So I had a problem with that where someone gave me money to be part of this because they're local and they didn't want to have to deal with shipping and all that nonsense. And cool. I appreciate it. And I couldn't get it right at first, and I tried to put it through my profile, but then I forgot even if I back it, I have to pay for shipping, which is ridiculously stupid. So I finally figured it out thanks to Cal from Alter Life number 3 giving me the right advice. It was just the reason it wasn't working was because I was signed into my account. And then we have Fight of the Century. Oh, Jax is I'm going to need a nap now. Fight of the Century is a fist-flying cyberpunk graphic novel about mixed martial arts underdog that will go from punchline to people's champ. It's how wars are fought now, one person at a time. And as always, we ask, are you one of us? Are you someone who's tired of the reboot culture and want creative new stories? Then you already are one of us. And all you have to do now is subscribe to stay up with the amazing content that Written Sins delivers on a daily basis. You guys have been great. I think we've covered every topic now that we had to. There's the Power Company, Jax. We had the Killer Bees and a bunch of tattoo stuff. I am going to take my leave of you guys. Thank you for all who joined us. I saw there must have been like 60 people on a Sunday before July 4th. I know it's Sunday. I know Sundays suck to do these videos, but I had the time, so I took it. And I will talk to you all soon. Thank you for joining us. And that goes for you too, YouTube. Good night.